Hi everyone, welcome to On the Other Hand. I'm Ariane Zurcher and I've got lots that I want to talk to you about. So the first thing is my website is finally up and ready to be viewed. This has been over a year in the making. It has been hundreds and hundreds of hours. My husband designed it, and a brilliant couple of coders have been helping. Without them, this would not have happened. So a huge thank you to Kai and Jack and Quinn and David. Just want to say their names because without them, this website would not have happened. My fabulous husband, Richard Long, designed it, and here we are. It's ready to go. So I'm going to put the link in the upper right-hand corner of this video, so you can click on it and go directly over to that website. I'll also put the link down below in the description section. It's exciting and it's been nerve-wracking. I tell you, when I went to flip the switch from coming soon to here we are, I was a nervous wreck. I actually felt nauseous. So go over there, take a look. There are workshops that you can sign up for. I've got 4 different Dorset button workshops right now. One is a basic Dorset button workshop and the other is an advanced. And then I have 2 designs that I've designed specifically with Dorset buttons that are exclusive to the workshop and are not available in my stitching shop, which, by the way, go check out the stitching shop. All my designs are there and you can look at them. What else? I have a gallery with all my different art. I have a little thing about me and my design background. I have stitching shop workshops. I have a tab for these videos on YouTube. It takes you right to, if you click on any of the links, it'll take you to this channel. And on and on. So it's been just a massive, massive thing, this thing. And that is one checkbox. Of course, there are lots of little tweaks that still have to be done. And my blog is also housed under it. We're doing that this weekend, switching it over so that it'll be on my website. Take a look around. Let me know what you think. So the other big project that has been put on hold and also has been in the works for a while is the stitching book, which my first thought was it's going to be for left-handed people only. And then the more I read comments from other people, the more I realized that lots of right-handed people come here and also would like to stitch in a similar style, I guess, is what I'm doing. So I thought, well, I can do the left-handed stitching and then do just a really little sort of truncated version for right-handed. And that way everybody, kind of the way I do on these videos, I've been going through my videos and little by little, I'm going to be doing every single stitch for both right and left. So I'll start demonstrating the stitch with my left hand and then I'll do it in my right. So I did that for the purl stitch. I've done it for a couple now. Antwerp edging stitch I did it for as well. Yeah, so it's a lot, and that's what's been going on. Next, I have to show you something. This is someone who is in my improvisational stitching workshop, and she's just lovely, Nancy. And Nancy sent me a little care package, and I have to show you because it's so fabulous. So this is a cotton a piece of cotton that she did ice dyeing on. Is this fabulous? No, she's very talented. I've seen a lot of ice dyeing. I have not tried it, but I have to say that the way that she does this is really, really lovely. So she sent this to me. This is the cotton. And then she sent me this piece. And this is in bamboo, which I had never heard of. So this is just a little piece of bamboo. Isn't it pretty though? And for my improvisational stitching workshop class, she actually did her improvisational piece on this, and this is a little piece that's left over. So I'm just thrilled to have these two pieces. And then she sent me this little box. It is adorable. And she writes, Ariane, I thought you could use the stiletto for centering Dorset buttons. But it's not just a stiletto. She sent me, so here's the stiletto. And then here's a little pair of scissors. And a little thimble, which is like adorable. And then this, which looks like a needle, but I'm not even sure what I do with this. And then this, which I guess you put the needle in. Does it fit? No, it doesn't. So I'm not sure what this is. Maybe she'll tell me. I'll have to ask her. But let's see, does it go down? It should fit. Let's see. No. So in any case, she sent me all these lovely little things, which I'm just thrilled to have. And so thoughtful. Thank you, Nancy, if you're watching. Okay, what else? I'm kind of exhausted, I have to say. Here's the thing. Website stuff, coding, website, all that stuff. And in many ways, learning how to do YouTube videos, they all require a very different way of kind of thinking. So this is, I find it difficult. I mean, it's not impossible. Obviously, I can do it. I've done it. I created this YouTube channel. This I did on my own. I figured it out. I watched a lot of YouTube videos on how to do this and how to do that, and I still do. I mean, when I don't know how to do something, I'll watch a YouTube video. How do I do this? And I'll find someone who's showing me. And but I can't say that I love this kind of stuff. So, for instance, on my website, there was a lot of, tweaking and figuring out the order of things, which I still can't figure out how to do, and editing pages and adding text. And for all the workshops, I had to write out, pretty extensive and detailed so if it was a 2-day workshop, well, so what are you doing in those 2 days? So I wanted to write everything out. And it's not that I hate doing all of that. It's just not the same as when I'm just stitching. Because when I'm stitching, I get into this kind of relaxed sort of, it's relaxed, but it's also excited, right? There's like a real joy there. So, especially the improvisational stuff. the things where I'll design, and I'll maybe design on a computer, and then I'll start to, add stitching, that's a different way of working, and it can be fun. It's got more parameters and boundaries around it. But what I love the most, I think I've mentioned this before in another video, what I really love the most is doing the improv stitching stuff, where you just have this blank canvas and you just start doing stuff, because there's no boundaries. There's nothing that I have to be aware of, really, other than, obviously I'm aware of composition, and I'm aware of design, and I'm aware of my use of color, and I'm aware of shapes, and I'm aware, but there really are very few limitations. So I do love that. And writing instructions and making sure that everything is just as it should be on the website, or it's really a different language. And I wish I spoke it fluently, because if I spoke it fluently, I think it would just be very sort of easy or easier, and I would just sort of do it. It would be very matter of fact. I wouldn't feel that kind of, nervous, what if I do something wrong feeling, which I think sometimes people feel when they're stitching. So if it is that for them, then I really get it. And that's kind of a horrible thing to feel. But it's not one that I experience when I'm stitching. I signed up for 2 classes to force me to go and work out at the gym, because I live in a city. I can't just go out and walk in the mountains. I think that's the thing about age. When I was young, I didn't think about any of these things. I went and did crazy things. I didn't think about what if I get hurt. But as I'm older, especially after the elbow surgery, I have to say, when I went to Iceland and I fell, shattered. The bones were shattered. The bone was severed. Like someone said, oh, the bone's knit back. There was no knitting back. There was a gap between where the bone had, was severed from this to this, where it should have been here. It was like this. And then bone fragments sort of swimming around. So there was no knitting to be done. It was the single most painful thing I've ever gone through in my life. And that's after giving birth to 2 children naturally. Just saying. So I don't ever want to go through that kind of pain again, unless I really have no choice. But if there's anything I can do to sort of keep myself from going through from any danger like that, I want to avoid it if at all possible. So I feel like I'm a little more careful, I'm a little more careful. So going to the gym. I'm of a certain age. I need to stay fit. And I need, more importantly, even than that, that's pretty important. I need to make sure that I continue to work on my balance, because balance is the single most important thing as you get older that causes people to fall and to then break bones, and then, surgeries and all of that, which is all the things I want to avoid now that I'm in my older years. My salad days. Isn't that what they say? Why do they say that, salad days? Anyway. So going to the gym is a good alternative for me. So I signed up for 2 classes. I went to the one. It was a spin class. It was okay. Disco lights and loud music at 11 o'clock in the morning. She was really cute. She started by saying, "This is a balls to the wall intensive spin class." And I'm thinking, there's exactly 1 guy in this class. We've got 1 set of balls. Let's hope he works hard for the rest of us. So in any case, it was fine. But I thought, I'd rather find something else that's going to be, I don't know, easier. Easier. I need something that I can do at any time, just some sort of routine. And I used to just go on the stationary bike and ride it for half an hour or 45 minutes or whatever, and I'd read a book. And I'd put in my earphones, I'd listen to music and read the book, and it was fine. It was a fine way to get some kind of exercise. It's better than nothing. That's what I'm feeling, It's good enough. That's what I'm going for, good enough. I'm not going to be a marathon runner. I have no desire to be. Just good enough. So this morning, I canceled my running class, which I'd signed up for this morning. And I thought, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to go early in the morning and I'm going to download a book, which I did, on Marcus Aurelius, who I'm totally fascinated by. For those of you who know all about Marcus Aurelius, I really don't know that much about him. I know a little, but not much. So I bought a book about him and I was reading that. I downloaded some tunes, listened to music, rode my bike for 35 minutes. And I felt like, I can do that. Just want to report back. So I feel like I've got a handle on this whole gym thing that I can, in a way that I can cope with. I think it's all about figuring out what's going to work for you. And now I'm going to do some stitching. One last thing I wanted to say before I turn everyone around. West Coast Wool. Her name is Beth. She's got a YouTube channel and she's got a website, and she does a lot of hand-dyed wools, but she has a whole lot of other stuff that she carries as well. So I'm going to put the link. I'll find it. I'll put the link. I've actually put her link in my instructions for the last few stitching designs because she's a great wool source. She also carries a whole lot of other stuff, and she's got a YouTube channel, and she's left-handed. So if you want another person's, interpretation or see how another left-handed person is stitching these stitches, check out her YouTube channel. The other person that I wanted to mention who reached out to me on my last video is Oak House Journal, and she also has a YouTube channel. So I'll put that link also in the description section, because it's really lovely to have this community of people who are doing art and craft and all kinds of different things. And we're all here on YouTube and we're all doing different things. And it's really just a lovely community of people doing our art and what we love to do and sharing it with all of you. So I think I just love being part of a community. So go check them out. I'm going to turn around and I'm going to start showing you some of the stuff that I'm working on. And so maybe you'll just stitch along with me. Okay. Don't forget to check out my website. You have to do that. Don't forget to hit the thumbs up button. It helps with YouTube when they see that a video has more thumbs ups and more comments, then they tend to recommend that video to more people. And the wider the audience, the more people who come over and look, the more people who are then introduced to the kind of stitching I'm doing. It's all good. So that helps me out. It's easy for you to do. And don't forget to subscribe if you like this and this is the sort of thing that you'd enjoy doing or learning more about hand stitching with different materials, on different materials. Then click on that subscribe button. And don't forget to leave me comments. I love hearing from you. So tell me what you think about my website. Let's start stitching together. Okay, first things first. So here I have this piece, which I've been working on. And remember I talked about these beads? And I thought they would be fun to add. Well, I added this one, and I like it. I like it here. Not sure what else I'll do, but I'm going to keep messing around. And I started adding some stuff in here, and I think I'll keep working in there. This is just one of those pieces that I play with when I'm feeling stressed. I just pull it out and start playing, and it makes me happy. So that's that. Now, remember this? For those of you who follow, you remember this. All these hard edges, bold, big shapes. I've got the PDF for this. It was originally, the thought was I was going to do the stitch along with it. I was going to send all the shapes out, and then together I was going to design each week, and then I sort of started to panic, like, how am I going to design what I'm doing? And anyway, so I talked a lot about this, and a bunch of you had suggestions, and one of the suggestions was, you know those black and white beads you showed for your other project? I bet they'd look really cool here. And I thought, oh my gosh, I'm going to try that. So not only, and someone else said, what if you did a lot of like same color background? So I pulled out my white threads. These are 2 House of Embroidery pearl cottons at size 8 weight and a size 5 weight. Maybe do just some really basic sashiko in here. Here are some beads, right? Black and white. But I also then pulled out these. I've got some buttons. Buttons could be fun. I've got lots of these. I've got some clear beads. And then I've got these guys, which are little shells. And I've got this. And I've even got this, which could be pretty wacky and wild. But I like it. Oops. So I've got some stuff to play with here, for sure. I've got 2 of these guys. I'm going to start messing around with this. I also have some of these, which I thought would be fun, too. But, so here's what I'm thinking on this piece. Oh, and these. Wait, I got to show you these. So I have lots of things here to play with, right? But I was thinking, how cool would it be if maybe some of these beads like actually hung? You know, like they weren't attached. They kind of hung on a string and kind of moved around. Maybe on one of these. I know. We're thinking out of the box here. So I'm going to actually start working on that. I'm not going to do it with the camera on because I just feel like this piece has presented me with so many problems, and I don't want to feel like I don't know. I feel like I need to do this in the privacy of my own little creative, crazy world. But that's what I'm thinking for this piece. Thanks to all of you and your brilliant suggestions, because I do read all your comments. Well, you know that because I answer all the comments. I do. As you know, I answer all the comments because, well, for 2 reasons. One, because I know what it's like to write a comment and not get a reply, and you feel like you just like shouted into a black hole. And I don't want anyone to feel that way. I want everybody to know that when you comment, I read your comments and I'm responding and I'm smiling and I'm laughing and I'm with you and I'm crying and I'm, feeling concerned for your health or whatever it is you're commenting about. I'm there. I'm hearing you. But the other is that, I read them and they're important, and all of you have really great things to say, and I'm interested. I've got lots here to play with, and so I'm going to start experimenting. Beads and white, and doing some real, just running stitch in places. I'm going to start with the running stitch. That often something that simple can just kind of push me to take off into some other area. So for some of these big shapes, I think some running stitches, I kind of went with the seed stitch, and I feel like, okay, I've done a lot of seed stitch here. I did seed stitch on all of these, and then I did a little back stitch around each one of them. They're pretty dense. But now I'm thinking little running stitches, and I'll see where it takes me, and I'll show you. Okay, so back to my little Pat Polly hand-dyed linen fabulousness that she sent me, my friend Pat. I'm thinking I'm going to, so I've got a little detached slipped chain here, and I love doing the detached slip chain with 2. I've even done it with 3. It looks like little wings, which which I love. And I'm breaking it up with a little cluster of French knots here. So I'm just going to do a little cluster of them right here. And then I'm going to do a few more of the detached slipped, is it slip detached chain or the detached slip chain? I can never remember the order of these words, but you know what I mean. And for those of you who don't know how to do those, I'll put the video for those up in the right corner of this video. And then I'm going to leave a little space here, I think. Maybe do a few of the sort of random going off here. And then maybe kind of, well, sort of scattered, right? I'm always thinking of like scattered seeds or something like that. And I'm running out of thread, so I'm going to start a new thread. I think I'm going to keep it to this kind of gold. I'm using this Steph Francis Pearl 3. It's a number 10. I think I'll kind of keep it to that and just continue with that. I don't know that I'm going to do the whole cross that way. I don't actually think I will. I think I'm going to, I think this darker area here, I might do something and then sort of scatter, and then maybe a little cluster in here, and then maybe scatter, and maybe I'll do the same here. I don't know, you know. I was thinking also that maybe I would do some of these beads on this side, you know, but I haven't really, I love this one here. I have to do something in here too. Oh, remember that bit of, I had this was white, this bit of t-shirting. So I just went ahead and, you know, it was already attached. I'd already stitched all of this. So I just went with my Caran d'Ache and my Inktense, and I mixed up a little paste and I just painted over it. And then as I was doing that, I don't know if you remember, but I'd done like a bunch of seed stitches here in a really light, and this was kind of light, and I painted over that. And then I took some of it out, and then I put this feather stitch in this mercerized cotton, Steph Francis mercerized cotton here and here. And I kind of like that. I think I want it to sort of maybe go out over here a little bit. I'm not sure. Oh, and then I added this metallics. This is also Steph Francis. I can't remember, of course, which one this was, but it's one of their metallics. I'm actually looking for as I'm talking to you, and I can't find it. I think I might have bought this separately. If I did, I'll find it and I'll show you. Okay, I found it. This is the multi-sparkle number 12, and that's what this is here, which I love. And this is multi-sparkle 11. And I actually think I'm going to put some of this in here. You know, here's what I was thinking. I was thinking, okay, well, this is great. I like this, but I need some variation in the size. So I was looking for the number 10 in a mercerized cotton, or maybe I have it in a, I think I do, in a spun, that's a 12, but it's pretty darn close, and I think it would look nice with this. So, you know, some different, a little variation. That's what I'm looking for. I always want to have a little variation. I'm going to use whatever this is. I don't even know what this is. It looks like a sashiko needle, because it's not a chenille, but it's, I don't know. I don't even know. You know, I buy these needles. I'm kind of like a needle nut. I get these needles and then I think, oh, that's cool. And then I see a needle somewhere and I think, oh, I could use, what's that? And then and then I go and buy that. And then unless I put it in my needle roll and I have a label for it, I have no idea what it is. No idea. Okay, so what am I doing here? Maybe I'll do just a little cast on bouillon something. See what that looks like. Maybe sort of sticking up where it's like almost like a scallop, right? I always am aware of how far away the camera is, and if you can see this is about as far away as I ever want the camera to be, because I don't know about you, but I find it really hard to see what people are doing when the camera is far away. I mean, even this is getting a little too far for me. I like it really up close. I want to know exactly what's going on. So I'm going to go ahead and pull this through. This is just a little experiment. I'm going to see what's going on here and if I like this. And this is in the spun silk. And so I can leave it up, sort of like this, or I can, tack it down so it's a little circle, which I think I'll do. And I'm going to bring this camera down too, so it's a little bit closer. So there's that. Yeah, I like it. Okay, so that's better. So here's my little guy, and I'll just do, I don't know that I'll do, I might just leave him sort of by himself and then do a couple of little things nearby, like some 5-wrap French knots. You can do as many wraps as you want on a French knot, right? It doesn't need to be 2 or 3. You can do 6 wraps. And you can add a bead to them too. It just depends on the weight of thread and how big of a knot you want. So I'm using like this little nubby, this spun silk with flames. It goes from like a size 8 all the way to a size 12. And when it's at the 12 part of the nubbiness, I do, I'll do 8 wraps. Or whatever. I don't really count, honestly. I just sort of do it. And now I think I'll do a couple of random guys in here. And they just kind of stick up. And I can do some of those slipped detached chain stitches, because why not? I like to do 2, as I said before. And I like to do, them so they're in different directions. I don't like them all going in the same direction. If my thread is thin, I keep them pretty small. When I'm doing a size 3, of course, it's going to be a bigger detached slip chain. And I think I will, let's see, maybe I'll do one coming out over here. So I was on Pinterest and I was looking at microscopic images. I was looking at microscopic images of cells, and I like looking at plant organisms and all that, but cells are really interesting. And some of the most beautiful images are of the most horrific things, like, tumors and staph infections, but the images are just kind of amazing. And I just find that kind of horrifying and fascinating at the same time. I love looking at all kinds of weird organisms. I think it's pretty wild. Okay, so there it is. And I'm going to definitely come in with, I think, some of this gold, because, why not a little bling? I think I have to change needles. I'll do this one, my Milner's. Pretty sure this is a 1 Milner's. And okay. And I think what's nice is to just sort of add, like a little smattering of them in different places. I don't want them all to be just in the same place. I like lots of variety in threads, and to have the thread varieties sort of near each other, mix it up. So I'm going to do another little guy over here. Okay, so I've kind of done this. You'll see what's happening here. Just so you get the view. And he sits as close as he can, and I just feel so bad moving him. So I just kind of drape it over, and he seems fine with that. So just to show you, so I put in some slip detached chain stitches. I put in some French knots and some colonial knots. I put in some little cast on bouillon circles. I put in some bouillon circles. I put in, what else? I did metallic. I did the spun silk with flames, and I did the number 3 weight pearl cotton, and I feel like that's it. And I'm not sure what I'm going to do on the lower one. I'm not going to do this. I know that. If I do anything, I might just do some running stitches. But I still have this area to work on. I've still got some stuff here. I want to put some things here. I'm going to do some things here. So, there's a lot of work to still be done. But there it is for now. And, yeah, it looks, I like where this is going. I like how this is kind of hanging. I was going to tack it down. I may still do that, but I kind of like how it hangs, too. I may put a bead on the end. Anyway. Thanks so much for watching. Don't forget to look at my website. I'm so proud of it, and I've worked so hard on it. So I hope all of you will go over there and just check it out and tell me what you think. And until next time, let's keep stitching.